Welcome to Wrong Time Watch. My name is Kevin, and today we're looking at the Steinhart Ocean 39 Adventure Classic Diver Watch. Quite the mouthful there. Price for this watch is about 442 euros. If you're outside of the EU, then you can remove the 30 euros of taxes. And with the exchange rate right now, it's about, I think it's about 450 US dollars, somewhere around there. So anyway, it has a black dial. It has a classic Explorer watch styling here. It does have a domed sapphire crystal instead of a flat sapphire crystal. But anyway, let's continue here. So it does have, as I stated, a black dial. Let's zoom in here. Take a close look at this. So we do have applied indices, applied numerals there. Some of the text is printed. The Ocean 39 and Adventure Automatic is printed on there. You can see down there at 6 o'clock, Swiss made. The minute track is printed as well. And I haven't decided if the Steinhart logo looks applied, and perhaps the Steinhart text as well. So yeah, very nice looking dial. It has the Mercedes hour hand, so it looks the part. The 369 dial and the triangle up there at 12 o'clock. There we go. Now we're in focus. So you can see it does have a polished bezel. Before I go any further, this watch was kindly lent in by Jack. He has a YouTube channel as well. I'll put that down in the description. Please go pay him a visit. Subscribe to his channel if you haven't already. It's Jack's Watches and EDC. And I believe he's selling this watch as well. So if you're interested, shoot me an email and I'll put you in contact with him. Okay, let's zoom back out. So as I mentioned briefly, it does have a domed sapphire crystal. It does have AR coating applied to the underside and the top as well. Nope, sorry, just on the underside. AR on the underside, which it does need. Any domed crystal needs AR coating, in my opinion. Otherwise, you just get a bunch of glare and stuff from around. You seem to catch a lot of stuff around the perimeter with the domed crystal. It just kind of magnifies everything around here. So that's why I prefer a flat sapphire crystal. So the movement in this watch is the Sellita SW200-1, and it's the Elabore grade. So if you can see through this case back, you would see that the movement is finished. And I think they do some other stuff to it as well to increase the accuracy of it. So there's a look at the case back. See if we can read it. Ocean 39 Adventure. What does it say there? Swiss made automatic movement, which we just discussed, and then it does have 10 ATM of water resistance. That's 100 meters. And again, sapphire crystal. And lastly, it says stainless steel there. And Swiss made by Steinhart. I believe Steinhart is a German company. Some of the information on the manual's in German, but maybe that's just because it's bilingual. No, okay, so it is a German company right there. Steinhart Watches GmbH, Stadbergen, Germany. There's a phone number and there's a website. The box it comes in is pretty basic. You can see that in my unboxing video if you're curious about that. Okay, so the movement, of course, is hacking and hand winding. So hand winding, you need to unscrew the crown, and then the first pop out, we're in hand winding, so we're hand winding the movement. Next position, sorry, right there, it's the second position. You can see the second hand is still moving, so it's not hacking. That's because we're in the date set position. So this has what's called a ghost date. meaning the dial is not cut out for a date, but the movement does have a date wheel on it, so it really doesn't do anything for you in this position. Actually, that position there, right there, just free spins. Pull all the way out to the third position, and the second hand does stop. That's hacking, so you can hack the movement. 38 hours of power reserve on this movement. So yes, it does have a screw down crown, and it is a signed crown, but the water resistance is only 100 meter. Not like in this new camera setup. It doesn't seem to want to focus. Anyway, there we go. Signed crown. All right, as you can see here, it does have female end links. Sorry, negative end links. And they are solid end links, solid links. And these are sized by using screw pins, so nice and easy to do as long as you have a small enough screwdriver. I use my 1.2 millimeter Wera screwdriver. And you can remove it there from the end link if you wanted to for whatever reason. It does have drilled lugs. The sides of the case are polished, as well as the sides of the bracelet, all polished, and the top is brushed. I like the look of this watch, the brushing and the polishing. Nice combination here. The brush polishing is always does seem to be a fingerprint magnet. Maybe all brush would be a nice combination as well, or a nice way to finish off this watch. Okay, continuing on the bracelet, we have a milled bracelet here. This is a friction fit bracelet. This tab here engages with the bar there. It snaps shut, but you do have a safety clasp. So it will be secure on wrist. It's just not the most elegant clasp. I would prefer something with dual pushers. And then that way you wouldn't need a safety clasp. You do get 4 micro adjustment on here. The bracelet does taper very nicely from 20 down to 16, so it wears comfortably on wrist. So no complaints there. Just don't really care for that friction clasp. And the safety clasp is polished, but then the rest of it is brushed. It's kind of a weird look for me. I guess it does match the sides here, but I would prefer that all to be brushed to match the rest of the clasp here. But you do have these polished chamfers, which is a nice look. Okay, let's talk about the dimensions of this watch. Lug to lug is 46.9. Case diameter, actually the bezel diameter, on the website is 39. I measured it at 38.8, and then the case is actually smaller because this bezel does overhang the case. Hopefully you can see that. If the camera will ever focus. All right, there we go. I think we're in focus now. So right there you can see how that bezel overhangs the case. It's kind of a weird feature there. You see it right there? The crown almost touches the bezel actually. Looks like the back chamfer on the crown clears that maybe. Well, right there you can see a little bit of a gap. Okay, so the rest of the dimensions, 13.2 millimeter thick, a little bit thick for my preference, especially considering it's 100 meter water resistance with a screw down crown. 20 millimeter lug width, and it does taper down to 16. 6.5 millimeter crown, and roughly size for my 6.5 inch wrist, it weighs in at 137 grams. It does have half links. You can see one of the half links right there. And all I did was I just removed 2 links to get it to fit my wrist. So I'll put those back on before returning this to Jack. So there's a quick look at the links if you're interested. have the screw pin here too if you want to check that out. Yeah, okay. Come on, camera, focus. So there's a little bit of a head on that screw there. Sometimes it's just a solid shaft, and in this case it has a little bit of a head on it right there. Okay, let me get this on the wrist, and then we'll check out the loom. We'll compare it to, actually, you know what, let's look at it compared to my SKX real quick. So the SKX is 42.5 at the case, and then the bezel's around 41, and then 46 lug to lug. Actually, these watches will be very close to the same thickness. 200 meter dive watch versus a 100 meter exploration watch, field watch, sport watch, whatever you want to call it. So overall, I like the look of this watch, but I do like the Rolex Explorer as well. Okay, let me get this on the wrist. And today I've been wearing the, actually been wearing this for quite a bit, the Tudor Black Bay 58. So here's a quick look at it compared to this one as well. 39 millimeter, 39 millimeter. Bezel, maybe a little bit thick on this too. So here it is on my 6.5 inch wrist with the 52 millimeter wristband. And what did I say lug to lug was on this? I think it's 46.9, so 47 millimeter lug to lug. All right, let me zoom out a little bit. If you haven't subscribed yet, please hit that subscribe button. I really appreciate it, and it really helps me out. Very nice taper. I really like bracelet taper of 4 millimeter. Alright, let's pause the video and we'll check out the loom. Alright, so I forgot to mention the Steinhart does have Bgw9 Loom on the hands and indices. Although the hands are a little bit brighter than the indices, so I'm not sure if they applied more. Actually, the brightest portions right now are the pip on the second hand and the Mercedes circle on the hour hand. Looking at it by eye, it's not as bright as the Lumabrite on my Seiko SKX 009, but it's still you know, respectable for a field or sports watch. It's not a diver, so I think the loom is pretty good. That will conclude this video. As always, thank you for your time and thank you for watching.